But today, we're going to continue our conversation. We're going to hand out some grades to some players based on their Copa America performances, but we're going to use the -3 to 3 rating scale. Nico, can you kind of explain to the people how that works?
It's pretty simple. It's a 7-point system where you start at 0 and you either work your way towards the positive side or to the negative side. -3 to 3.
Yeah, so 0 is neutral.
0 is neutral.
And then -1 begins bad, +1 begins good.
As opposed from 1 to 10, I feel like we always start at a 10 and work our way down from what is an ideal performance or an ideal rating. Here, you start at 0 and you move left or right.
I like it.
Right, like Paraguayan mate, you would give a what?
Paraguayan mate, I would give a 2.
Okay, see?
Okay.
Not the best, but good.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's start with a bang, shall we? Gregg Berhalter, the man in charge. Alexis?
I've struggled with this one because I wanted to, based on the fact that we did look okay against Bolivia, find a way to give Gregg Berhalter a -2. But I think based on the way it's all come together, the way it's ended, the press conferences, the way we looked, even against Bolivia, where I felt a lot was left on the table, this is going to be a -3 for me. There's no other way to put it. This was an abject failure from beginning to end. And as far as I'm concerned, probably should be the end of the line for Gregg Berhalter.
Charlie, any thoughts?
I will
Agree,
say,
disagree?
in terms of responsibility in this tournament, it falls on the players' shoulders. A number of them didn't step up. And then the manager and the coach in terms of the substitutions and the tactics throughout the game. But accountability falls solely on Gregg Berhalter's shoulders, the head coach. You are tasked with one thing and one objective, and that is to get out of this group, period. And that is the bare minimum expectation. That is absolute mediocrity if you get out of this group. Given that you're playing against Panama, familiar opponents, yes, they're difficult, but we're far better than Panama, and against the Bolivian side that is weak. So from that standpoint, it is a -3.
Can't give it anything more.
Yep, -3. Agreed. All
and
right.
if it was A, B, C, D, F, it's an F. It's that simple.
Okay, up next, Nico, Matt Turner.
Matt Turner played 2 90-minute games, a 45-minute game in which he didn't concede. He came off, and then it was Horvath who conceded in the most critical game in the long, in the long scheme of things, right? In the big picture. He's a good shot stopper, but his distribution was pretty poor, and I think he was also responsible in pairing the free kick of Uruguay right into another Uruguayan player. I gotta give him a -2.
Same.
That's what I had.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think there were some moments where I'm like, oh, okay. But for the most part, this was just nothing inspirational.
How dire is our goalkeeping situation?
Dire.
Is it though? Because I'm holding a lot of hope in Gaga Slonina.
No,
right now.
it's dire because Gaga Slonina is not even in the picture right now. So it's dire. And if you're looking at previous cycles, we had Friedel, we had Keller,
Goalkeeper was
we had
always
Miola,
our
and then we had
position
Tim
of
Howard. There was we never had an issue with keeper. Never. That was always one thing you could say. Well, the Americans on a global stage are highly respected because of the athleticism that our keepers had.
And Matt Turner was every ball that he had to distribute long, and you were just tense in the and everything was out of bounds. Everything was or not.
I found myself tensing up every time the ball was at his feet.
That's the thing. He knows it that his distribution is not good, and I was there on the field, and I would see it in his face. You know, just wincing and saying, you know, all that body language of when he needs to distribute. That's.
Can you blame any of that? He took that knock in. What match was it?
No, if he's healthy, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, he's ready to go.
The Panama, yeah.
That's why he had to come out, and he had
Did you
the
see
leg
any
wrapped
of the
against
effects
Uruguay.
on that in the match against Uruguay?
That's the thing. They're like, he got the ball,
I'm not,
and they're like,
I don't want to make. I'm not making excuses.
So
but
this is the thing. You go to the Bolivia match, they win 2-0. It's a clean sheet, right? You think his distribution was just as poor as it was in Uruguay with a bandaged leg. So. Yeah. He has not improved at all with his feet. And even if you say, okay, we're trying to bypass Turner and not use him, the limited time that they did use him, it still wasn't good enough. Even the clipped balls into the front line. So 100% that's the right grade for him.
All right, what grade, Charlie, are you giving to Tim Ream?
So Tim Ream is still our best center back. That's what we learned in this tournament. Even though he's not playing consistently with Fulham anymore and likely to come to MLS, at least that's what's been rumored, he's still our best center back. In the Bolivia match, he had 9 passes into the final third. He was very good at anticipating plays. And I'd say in Panama, then you're thrown into, all right, just emergency defending. But he gave, in those 2 matches, 2 goals, he was both in proximity to both of them. And then in the Uruguay game, that was his man who scores the goal. So I'm going to give him a -1.
Ooh.
That's what I gave him.
I would have given him a 0.
I gave him a -1.
I gave him a -2.
Ooh.
Just because I feel like this is the end of the line anyway, and I feel like he did.
How
play,
is he at the end of the line if he's still our best center back, though?
Because do you think he's going to be starting in the World Cup?
Who would you start?
He's still our best center back.
At the age where he is, he's probably going
Regardless
to be.
of, take the eggs out.
He's probably going to be out of Europe. He's probably going to be a lot slower by the time it comes to the World Cup. I don't think we're going to see Tim Ream as a starter as a center back in the World Cup.
It's what he can do right now. He is our best center back, and it's not even close.
That is
so
more,
how can you say
that's more of an implication and a damning statement on the state of our center backs more than it is a positive for Tim Ream.
Okay.
Okay.
Alexis, Antonee Robinson.
So I thought about this. I think as far as our fullbacks go, if Serginho Dest being there, maybe it's a little different. He was our best attacking fullback. He was certainly our best attacking defender. He showed a willingness to get forward. He showed an ability to be staunch in many, many moments where the rest of the team were really under attack and kind of all over the place. I'm going to give him a 1.
I was at 0.
I'm going to go 1 too.
I gave him a 1.
He was influential in every match. Could he have been a 2 in terms of the final product being a little bit better?
Give me an
But a 1
assist.
for sure.
Oh, he did get an assist.
did
I
get
get
an
it for
assist,
Balogun. Okay, fine. I'll work my whips at 1.
1?
Yeah.
You're convinced?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Scally.
This is a difficult one because it's inevitable to grade him off of the expectation that we had of Joe Scally going in. And I think even if you consider the Brazil and the Colombia friendlies moving in, I'm also going to give him a 1. I thought he was really good defensively,
Yes.
and he brought fight and he brought grit. I don't know how much more you can ask from Scally. Yes, of course you can ask more offensively, but we understood his limitations from the plethora of games that we saw him play with the national team going into this Copa América.
So you were going to give him a higher grade than Antonee Robinson?
No.
Okay.
I'm convinced that
So
Antonee
you think they're
Robinson
the same?
is a 1.
So I'm going to go 0 with
Okay,
Scally.
that's fair.
I'm sticking with 1 because what we asked him to do, which was defend, please don't go forward, he did a great job of
So you're
that.
grading on a scale now.
Right, but you have to, I feel like, for Scally.
-3 to 3.
I feel like
He
the
was an absolute
expectations were
negative
so
going
low.
forward. He was negative going
We
forward.
didn't ask him to do
If
that.
you never saw the U.S. men's national team, if this was an Albanian morning footy, and you only had the 3 games, I'm just like, whatever. Scally would have gotten a 0. But it's not. I had to choose a random country.
Can I please see Albanian morning footy?
Yeah,
I would love
I'm
that.
into it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
be there, bro.
All right, quickly, before
Chris
we head to
Richards.
break, Chris Richards, Charlie.
He didn't have a good tournament.
I was
No.
bummed.
Before the tournament, I would have said I expect him to be a 2, but
-2 for me.
I gave him a -1.
yeah, I'm going with 0. I know that seems a lot more positive, but again, the same reason I deducted a point from Tim Ream, I'm going to give him a point because whether we like it or not, he will be the starter come World Cup. I
But
feel.
we're not grading on what's going to happen next. We're grading on the 3 games.
That's part of what I'm adding to my grade.
What?
Yeah.
That's
In
too
what
generous.
world do you
gave
grade
against
somebody
Bolivia,
on their
he-
performances based on the future?
I'll tell you in the break because I think we have to go because the producers are yelling in my ear.
Did we give anyone a 2? Did
No,
anyone get
no,
higher than a 1?
No, wait, hold on. I gave.
No.
Wow.
No, I gave Antonee Robinson a 1.
Tomorrow we're going to hand out grades for the forwards and the midfielders, so we'll see if anybody can
Buckle up, everyone.
rise above.